Okay, so, and these problems don't have a name that I have found sort of a consensus of. I call them flow rate problems. They're all about rates and how they are connected to one another. And the first one we're going to do here is 2004, number 1. So pull that out and take a look at it. This particular example, they actually give you a function, okay, and it's pretty nasty. It's the first problem on there, so that means you're going to get a sheet calculator to help with it. On another one, there works more of these on Thursday. Another one might have, instead of that function, they might have drawn a graph that you look at, okay, or there might be a table of data. And the idea, though, is that the questions are going to be very, very similar. And after we read several of them, you're going to say, okay, I recognize this kind of problem. Okay, I recognize this kind of problem. So make sure you read that first paragraph. You might read through what A, B, C, and D are going to ask you. Don't write anything down just now. Go ahead and read them. So once you establish in your head, oh yeah, this is one of those flow rate problems, one of those things where I have to know what my units are, the thing that I suggest you start with somewhere really quick is that you write down the units of the thing they gave you. Just get the units down. What are the units of F of T? What do they tell you?
Cars per minute.
Cars per minute. Do not look at what they asked you for. Don't even worry about it. Once you know this kind of problem, F of T is cars per minute. So what would F prime of T be? If you took the derivative, what would you get?
Cars per minute.
Cars per minute. Per minute. And if you took the antiderivative of F of T, what would you get?
Cars.
Cars. What this helps you do is if they ask you for cars, how many cars, you better do this. You better do an antiderivative. If they ask you for the rate of change of cars, you better do cars per minute. Okay? So this just kind of helps get everything sort of set. All right? We're going to go through this. We're going to write down what to do for all 4 of these, and then I'm going to get you to get your calculator out and do them. Because the hard part about this is knowing what am I supposed to do for each one of these, okay? And making sure you can get a decent window. All right, so
Did you start recording?
Yes. Now, we should be nervous.
I got it.
Yes, we're going. Okay, they're looking out for y'all. All right. Not a professional recording here. Okay, so question A says, to the nearest whole number. So they're telling you right there, round to a whole number instead of to what's the usual rounding? If they don't tell you, it's round to the nearest whole number. How many cars pass through the intersection over the 30-minute period? How many cars? What are they telling you to do? And over a specific period from 0 to 30. Of what? How do you know? Because we did it up here. We looked up here. If I want cars, I'm going to take the antiderivative of the rate of change of cars. Okay? And if you put this in your calculator in Y1, then you can get it to give you this answer. Correct? Okay, not yet. Let's go all written down. B. Is the traffic flow increasing or decreasing? Okay, we want to know if something's positive or negative here, right? So traffic flow, circle it. Go back up to the beginning. There's the word traffic flow. What is traffic flow represented by? F of T. F of T. Increasing. If what?
If F prime of T is positive.
Prime of T is positive, decreasing, yep. F prime of T is negative. You have written down your justification. You're telling them what you're gonna go look for, and then you're gonna go look for it, okay? And even if you get it wrong, you're gonna get some points for this, okay? Some serious points for this, okay? All right. At what time did it say? Yeah, so I should have actually changed this from a T. This should actually be a 7 right there instead of a T. No, 7. Okay, C. What is the average value of the traffic flow over the time interval 10 to 15? Okay. What's the average value of the traffic flow? What do we do for average value, everybody?
1/15 minus
1 over 15 minus 10. Interval from 10 to 15. Now stop and think. Don't say it out loud. What goes here? What goes in here? Average value of the traffic flow. The traffic flow is FT. Yes? Okay, and the last question. What is the average rate of change of the traffic flow? What are we going to stop and insert in there that they left out? Average value of the rate of change. Average value of the rate of change of the traffic flow. Average value is still 1 over 15 minus 10. Is it still 15 and 10? Yes. The interval from 10 to 15. But it doesn't say the average value of the traffic flow. It says the average value of the rate of change of the traffic flow. So what goes right here? Isn't that easy? Okay, so you've now got your calculator. I'm going to hit pause on the record button, and I want you all to work together and come up with the correct value. Okay, so let's just double check the answers here. I think this one is 2,474 cars, and rounded to a whole number because they told you to. When this was, when they asked this question, this was worth 3 points, but the ones that I've seen more recently tend to be worth 2 points. 1 point for this, and 1 point for this, but you never know. Okay, that's why you want to make sure you write this down, not just your answer. Okay. So on B, you should actually, you've already written this. The year that they gave this, they only gave 1 point for this, and honestly, I think they decided to only give 1 point for it because so many people missed it. Now, they've had it on there for the last 10 years, and they're giving 2 points for this, 1 for the answer, and the answer was, what is it, decreasing? Decreasing, and you should have on your paper F prime of 7. It would be even better if you actually had a number. I've got negative 1.872 or 1.873, okay? But you want to have this somewhere on your paper which is less than 0. That needs to be there to get you, make sure you get that point. Because when they only gave 1 point, if you said decreasing and you didn't say why, you got nothing, okay? If you wrote this down but you didn't tell which one it was, you got nothing. You had both of them. Yes.
So by saying what the actual value of F prime 7 is, does that get you any credit? Or?
You have this. You need to say is less than 0. That's what they're looking for. This is why I stress that you write this stuff down. Okay, because if they're going to give you 2 points for this, they're going to give you a point for this, whether you get the right answer or not. Okay, and so you have to have that less than 0. Okay. All right. So C, and Maggie asked this, and I don't know if anybody else did it, but C did not say to round it to the nearest whole number, so don't assume. Okay, don't assume. And let's stop and remember, this right here is cars per minute. When you do this to it, it becomes cars. And when you do this to it, it goes back to cars per minute. Okay, and then D. I just would like you to note this. You could do this several ways on your calculator, but what are you going to get when you take the antiderivative of F prime? No, I'm sorry. F, you're gonna get F. Yes, which is cars per minute, that's correct. You're gonna get F. So this is 1/15 minus 10. And this right here, this is F of 15 minus F of 10. Okay, there's a couple of other ways you can get to that that are a little bit more complicated, but this is what they kind of were expecting you to do. Okay, there's a couple of other ways that you can get to it, and that answer is 1.517 or 1.518. Remember, I told you they don't care if you truncate or use standard rounding rules; they don't care. And the units on this would be cars per minute squared or cars per minute per minute. And this one was worth 3 points. This one was only worth 1 point. And again, that doesn't stack up with what they're doing nowadays. But at the very end, there was 1 extra point left over for, did you get both of these right? You either got both of those right, or you did not get both of those right, and that was the last point. Okay? All right, how's that feel? Okay? All right, on Thursday, I'm gonna go through, we're gonna pick at least 2 more of these to work together in class. We'll probably go through one together, and then I'll give you a couple to do on your own, okay? All right, let me stop this. Oh, and the homework tonight is you have a packet of multiple choice due to me on Thursday. Yes? You have a packet of multiple choice due to me on Thursday. So I need that in the morning so I can run it through the Scantron.
I don't think we have Scantron.
And I will go down and get you some Scantron. You could